For 17 years, I cleaned up garbage in the mountains, hoping to find myself. I went into that mountain to die. My life no longer had any value. But in the end, I was unable to die. So I got down on my knees and started collecting garbage. I did this for 17 years. I was reduced to such a miserable state that everyone avoided me. For this reason, I had decided to go to the mountains to die. I thought I was so smart and no one had the same mindset as me. And since I couldn't get along with anyone, I wanted to see my nation and look around at nature one last time. But when I went into the mountain, I became boxed in a corner, fell on my knees, and began picking up trash. I didn't know anything about the world, much less who I was. Nevertheless, I had lived up to that time in an arrogant way. That's why I knelt on the ground seeking myself. Who am I? What is the meaning of my existence, and why was I born into this world? These questions consumed me. I gathered garbage, and I didn't utter one word or speak to anyone for 17 years. I lived in silence the whole time. Due to my strong arrogance, I lost all my strength and could not do what I should do. I went up there to die, not to study, but going there led me to find myself. I went up there to die, not to study, but going there led me to find myself. Nature embraced me, and instead of dying, allowed this study to be possible. And so I knelt down and reflected on my life to find who I am. When I did that with a pure heart, grand nature opened its door to me. I was then able to see grand nature. Many times I did not eat, due to the pain I embraced for not being able to find myself. I couldn't take in a grain of rice or a drop of water. I faced death dozens of times. I didn't make an effort to find myself, but I continued to reflect and ask myself questions about life. Through pure self-reflection, I came to realize later I was able to understand and become part of nature itself. I was able to visit other spiritual dimensions, places where souls and gods dwell. And thus, I was able to study them. I understood how creation happened, who we are, why we are here, and why the earth exists. Nature has taught me all this. I visited spiritual dimensions, going back and forth. I witnessed extraordinary things. Without realizing it, my study continued. When my study was completed and before returning to the world, I was shaken by a thunderous sound coming from heaven. My whole body was struck by it. 81 letters of Jungbub were delivered to my body. I am a person who received that heavenly letter through my body. At that moment, I understood that all my study was contained within those 81 letters. I understood that Jungbub was the law of grand nature operation. I understood that these were the words of heaven. I understood that the Hongik have come to witness and guard this law. I understood that Hongik were born to usher in a new era and guide everyone on this path. I left that mountain and began to look around, visiting every town and village. I saw that the Hongik while there, were still unable to act according to their nature. The whole world was upside down. So I began my pilgrimage across the Korean countryside. On that journey, I realized what a wonderful work of art this world of ours was. I realized that no one was yet able to pave the way and make a path for people to follow. Our evolution and everything was at a standstill. Our youngsters, despite growing up well, didn't know which way to go, so I allowed myself to make a pathway for them. This country already has its own strength. The work and sacrifices of our ancestors have already laid the foundation so our life can flow smoothly. The first generation of Hongik would have lived to benefit the world, the second generation, the digital generation, our younger brothers, would have easily followed in their footsteps. The third generation, the children of the previous generation, would in turn have continued on this path. We have never been divided. We are one. This is how the Hongik era can arise. You are all Hongik Ingans. You are all heaven's children. You were born to work hard for the benefit of others. This way you can completely free yourself from the shackles of your past. You belong to the Hongik lineage, those in charge of leading. You should constantly raise yourself. The day that this happens will be a bright day for mankind. You are very precious people. You are extremely important. From now on, we will no longer live for our own benefit, but instead pursue the Hongik ethics. What can I do for society? What can I do for my country? What can I do for humanity? You must grow up with this principle deep in your heart. Your life will flow smoothly and naturally if you live to benefit others, spreading light and well-being to those around you. Those who only think of themselves will destroy their lives. Why are we having difficulty now? Because we have not yet begun to live for the benefit of others. Instead, we continue to live only for our own interests and with increasing greed. At the beginning of 2013, the Huchon era made its appearance. A new age began. A new way of life has come to us and must be respected. We need to know that the operation of nature's law has changed. When baby boomers find their path and live to benefit others, you digitals will respect your elders. Then you will naturally find your way. So you don't need to walk the path of suffering to find who you are. This is why you must have gratitude and great respect toward the baby boomer generation. When our elders pave the way, the digital generation will follow and shine brightly as you guide the future of the world. Through these principles, the younger generation must grow. Your hard work will be rewarded in the end. The time of practicing ascetics and the search for spirituality is all over. The long journey of self-seeking has ended. The curtain has finally come down on all of this. It is now the era of righteous living, benefiting people far and wide. With the ideology of a public mindset of we should follow the path of virtue that benefits people far and wide. We were born to follow this virtuous path. And this is our history and our culture. When we live a joyful life, we honor the sacrifices our ancestors made and express our gratitude to them. By living a happy life, we can express true gratitude to our parents rather than giving them expensive gifts. If we live happily, so will our parents and their ancestors. That's true gratitude that material things can't express. Make your life joyful, so the sufferings and sacrifices of your ancestors can be completely dissolved. This is why we should live this way. The road is already open. We have begun this journey. Don't lose hope. Have hope. A new era has begun. You can trust my words. This country will shine beautifully. All younger generations have hope.